All right, well, welcome back, guys. So, what do we have on the table today? Well, it's the ball shredder, right? I was watching his channel a few days ago, and this guy is infamous for being the YouTube pimp of Chinese import. Him and Scar My Guitar. But, sometimes they're right, and then sometimes they're wrong. So this is the toaster, the same one that was viewed on his channel, and I just want to see if maybe it is anything worth holding on to. I will say that the packaging is done very nice. It came in a box, in a box, in a box. So of course that's the Amazon box over there, that big gigantic thing. I don't know why they still do that, but I appreciate it was delivered by them rather than FedEx. And then it comes in sort of like the box we see the Firefly boxes come in. So that's also very nice. And so, but check it out, guys. Yes. There it is. I sold one of my guitars, so I didn't really have to pay out of pocket for that. That is the limited edition MG100 Marshall matching cab and head. Um, I bought some red markers for the really small. It was very road worn, quite a bit, and so I'm just looking right now to kind of clean it up. In fact, the upper baffle area was loose, so I took off the back panel and actually screwed in. There was like 4 or 5 screws missing, so that whole thing was a little bit flapping in the wind. And I don't think this tape is holding. And I got some red duct tape, but I think this piece right here is kind of weak. But I'm gonna work with it. I got it, because it's a collector's edition. It looks super cool than the black MG series. I used to have an MG cabinet, but it never had the white trim like the Marshall 1960s cab stereo cabs that I have also had in the past. So um, really nice looking set right there. Really nice. I like just the whole vibe of it is really cool. The cloth, I love that brownish type of cloth with the Marshall and the gold and the red. It really does pop. And the guy that was using it, well, he was in college. He was at Cal Poly Pomona uh, doing punk rock. Chinese guy doing punk rock. But he's an engineer, super cool guy. He was trying to give me a little bit of the history on this, which was really nice. And this was sort of helping to pay a little bit for his tuition. But an extremely talented and what? An extremely talented young man. Man, what a tongue twister. Um, when you're 63, sometimes you get lost. But yeah, really nice guy. Just very informative. Super freaking smart dude. So this was a surprise. I know that he was doing a punk rock kind of a thing. He even showed me his guitar, which was very punk rockish. Cool guy. I mean, so I wish him all the best. I'm sure he's a little sad to let it go, but it was helping to pay for his tuition. So, but I'll be more than glad. I bought some little rollers I'm going to mount on there. I'm going to be the curator of this thing. So I got some really cool little nice wheels on there so I can roll it around. I don't really want to keep it on that one. It's not necessary. That's one of those moving carts. I think that should be sufficient, hopefully. I mean, if they break off, I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I think they'll be okay. I didn't want to get the 2-inch ones. I thought these would be just to roll around here anyway. Not that it's going anywhere. I bought some new strings from Amazon. And also today, I finally got the rack case to house my rack units that I wanted to eventually get together. And here we go. So I have my Rocktron. I'll put a blank space here with I'm actually going to order a single rack empty with the vent so that it would breathe more, and a Digitech. So then I have the BBE. I think this is the 382 Sonic Maximizer. These are cool. Ended up picking this for $100. The Valve XFX, old unit but super cool. Picked up, of course, the GSP 1101. These two are very similar. This is, the last addition to the Digitech series. This was like right behind it before this one came out, but this is known also for some things. This is the GSP 21 Pro with the Legend chip. So it does have the Legend chip inside of that, which is nice because it's an upgraded chip. And then, of course, I have the 11 rack in my Furman with the telescope. So, and then I found this today. It took me 3 weeks to finally find a suitable, rack case that didn't cost an arm and a leg. That one was only $100, but it's super nice. It's the felt kind, not the locking kind, which is okay. I mean, I'm not planning on going anywhere, but this fits very snug in there in the cavity, just like that. Very nice. It's got handles on the side. This thing is going to be, of course, very, very heavy, but the condition of this is like brand new. So, and this is kind of like, what I've been saving and holding on to, and I haven't even really gotten in it, but, I used to own all these units back in the day, back in the late 80s, early 90s. So, I just kind of want to revisit them, and so to see how they, and I have the foot controllers for them too. So it'll be interesting to see what's up. What's up? Yeah. And so, so supposedly they're making a comeback, the rack units. Are they? I don't know. I mean, I held on to this Rocktron for a long time. So Philip McKnight says they're making a comeback, so I ended up buying a couple more units. Even before he said that, I think I bought in this GPS 21 Pro from a guy, some tweaker. This was from a nice lady. This was from a cool guy on eBay. And then I've had this and these for quite years. All right, well, let's get to the toaster. Let's see if the ball shredder is, again, these guys just market a lot of stuff, but for me, I'm going to give you the real nitty gritty, because I'm not here to sell you the guitar. I'm just here to give you what my impressions on it. I think, one of the guitars I saw recently also on YouTube was the Tees guitar. So the Tees guitar came out with their new model, their new Strat models, and for it, fully, hold on a second. Okay. Oh, so the packaging on this, I was, again, I get lost in my train of thought and get distracted. I'm 63, guys, I'm not a professional YouTuber. Anyway, getting back to the Tees guitar. The Tees guitar fully loaded with the setup from Turson or whatever his name is. Torsen. And with the locking tuners, with the free shipping, that guitar delivered to you would be like $265, just to let you know. And they do look really, really nice. So I'm tempted to maybe send one of these back, because I have another one coming in, because I'm interested in seeing just kind of what's up. This is interesting. It has bubble wrap, and then it has the old cloth kind of a thing going down on it too. So these guys from Toasters really do some really good packaging, which is nice. It's nice to see that, they're doing something nice. You get a couple of the those things, I forgot what they call that, silicone little bags, but there's actually two in there. I think they're there to absorb moisture and stuff like that. This was supposed to come yesterday, but it didn't arrive on time. So the rain's supposed to end tonight, which is good. So there's a little styrofoam thing over the selector. And so what I was interested in seeing for this one was just how nice. I mean, you have to remember, so we're going from the Firefly series to something like this now, because I think a lot of the manufacturers are really trying to step up their game. And I think I've already, I will agree with some of you who've made some comments on some of my videos that I think we're just kind of, we've seen enough from Firefly and their series of guitar, and it seems to be very repetitious now. I think I have the guitars that only speak for me in the style. But yeah, the tally was really disappointing. I mean, really, like, I couldn't believe it was not even close to being a suitable playing guitar with that rough edge. So let's take a look, man. This thing looks freaking nice, guys. It does. I will have to say, man, the ball shredder is right about that. It's just, this veneer is really nice. Is it real? I think it is real. Let me take this off and I only got two hands. But again, this is not too far from anything that Firefly would sell you anyway. But they don't have this type of style. And I like this style. I figured that the neck would be dry. Oh yeah, dude. This thing was fucking killer, man. It is light. I think this thing weighs less than maybe 5 pounds or less. The locking tuners. Wow. And the back side of it looks really good. I think this is a good buy. I already felt the neck. The neck feels really good. You know, this one does have locking tuners. Crafted in China. China. You know, I realized a long time ago, man, the Chinese got freaking smart about shit. Since they're making guitars for Fender and Ibanez and everybody else, it was like, it didn't take them long to figure out that since they own the manufacturing machines of all that stuff, why not? I think the only weak point will probably be the bridge, you know, which you can't expect too much because I can tell that's a very thin plated bridge. How does the neck feel? Yeah, so the neck feels really good. Here on the edge, feels nice. Now on the Firefly, man, it was just brutally rough. I'm not kidding. And this has abalone, and it's got, you know, elixir strings. So really? Is that bullshit or what? I don't know. Maybe it is. They feel like, are they 10s or 9s? But this is a good looking guitar. Very nice. This feels like, let me see, sometimes I can just, that feels like a 10. Now, the rosewood is it real rosewood? I don't really know. But after some fret oil on this, it's gonna darken up really nice. So the saddles on this bridge are cool, as mentioned on the ball shredder guitar, but the block is thin, so I think at that point the sustain will You can always take these saddles off and put them on another bridge plate with a big block saddle, something that's heavier. I can tell already that this one is lighter, but it looks nice. I know that white light is kind of hideous. Hold on, guys. I wanted to pick it up. So yeah, this is a real veneer. So that's a very nice matching veneer. You know, some of the other companies do a very weak. I think Acklot tries to do some sort of veneer. It's like D grade. It's crap grade. And this is really nice. It really pops. This has a lot of relief in the neck. I'm not going to get to it today. It really is my bedtime. I got to get up to go to work tomorrow, so I'm not going to mess with this right now. As far as the strings, I don't know if I want to. I guess I'll try to, I'll take all the tension off the strings and put some F1 oil on the frets, but it's not going to happen tonight. And how does the pickup sound? I don't really know. I mean, we could take a reading on them. I think the ball shredder said they were high output, and we can double check. Let's see. Another nice thing about this is it has the barrel style jack, which is nice. I mean, the overall appearance of this guitar is it's pretty amazing, that wood, I don't know what the fuck that is. Is that bamboo? They're gonna call it rosewood. I don't know. Is it? People say a lot of things about stuff. I don't really know. So yeah. So on this channel, I try to keep it simple, guys. There are other channels that want to do all of that nonsense. I just kind of want to see where we're at with it all. Let's turn everything up. Let me make sure nothing's touching. So it looks like sometimes I got to make sure that these wires don't touch, because I'm an idiot. $15.85 in the bridge. That's pretty cool. It's going to sound good, hopefully. I don't know. 460, position 2, middle. 6.35, 4. 361, neck. 815. So 8.15K down to 15. That's a big swing there. So I'm not sure if that's balanced. Doesn't sound very balanced when you're going from an 8 to almost a 16. So that's a very big jump in output. If you coil tap it, you're at 811, and then you're at 4. See, that seems more balanced in coil tap mode. 2.55. Yeah, the coil tap is so with coil tap position 4 is 2.51. I guess middle is 6.35. So that doesn't really change. Position 2, 3.61. 4.6K in position 2 with the coil tap, because it's combining these two. And I guess the middle would just be the same no matter what. It's not going to change. Yeah. So that's an interesting reading. Almost 15.8K. Wow. But I think this thing, it's a very nice looking guitar. I mean, so this one is cheaper, of course, when you order online from the factory rather than eBay. This is what was it, $265 or $275, free shipping, no tax. Where on not eBay, but they're on Amazon, it's $299 plus tax. You know, um, shipping varies if you have an account or not. I'm not sure. I forgot to look to see if it was free shipping, but it's $2.99, so it's more. It was like three something through Amazon, and it's $2.75 out the door from the website. So you draw your own comparisons, but yeah, super cool. You know, super nice. Again, we probably have a winner chicken dinner with this series of manufacturing. Lighter than the Firefly guitars. You know, a lot of their strap bodies were very, very heavy. Is why I kind of broke away from their strap bodies. But this is not, I mean, again, when I can hold a guitar nicely in my hand without it being extremely heavy, because this is my weak hand, that's a good weight for me. But I'll get to using these strings or not. I'm not a 10 gauge kind of guy because of my carpal tunnel, but you know, does it really have elixirs? That would be interesting if it did. It can't, because elixirs are very expensive strings. That doesn't make sense. So maybe they just added. Okay, I know it does have a graph tusk nut, so that's nice, you know. So how was the setup? Again, this is just phase one of this particular unit. So was the ball shredder right? I'm going to say for now, yes. However, the pricing, don't get it on Amazon. Go direct from the manufacturer. It is cheaper. I didn't pay no tax. It was $2.75 delivered. Still under $300, but I still think you're getting a lot. You're getting a beautiful looking veneer. I'm going to almost call this AAA veneer. Beautiful matching burst. It just looks nice. This wouldn't need a new pick guard. I think the ball shredder was saying that he didn't like the pick guard, but I think it flows, you know. So yeah, so that's nice. I'll get to that tomorrow. That's cool. I don't even know when I'll get that fired up. That's not a priority, you know. This is not really a priority. I just want to get it. I needed this whole rack thing to get it all settled in there. You know, this is the stuff that I'm very familiar with. I've had more than this, believe it or not. I've had Line 6, Rocktron. Man, you would be shocked to know what kind of rack gear I used to own. Equalizers, Carbon. Carbon had all tube preamp, all in chrome. It was really badass, super badass looking. I think I owned one of those like twice over. You know, it's hard to not appreciate the technology that went into the rack gear back in the 80s. And so if they're making a comeback, well, I'm good to go. You know, this was always nice to have the BBE. It was kind of cool. You know, I've had I used to use the earlier models. This was a preferred one. Their newest, and it's still very current. These are very nice. It brings that richness of that deep, without things getting too money. It's kind of like a compressor, cleans up the bottom end. Really, really nice. And so that's it, guys. Tostar. Yeah. And, you know, there's some good guitars coming out now. Like, I guess it's really going to be hard to pick which one's a good one. I think the T's guitar is also a winner. Now, I did pick up that other one Strat that's coming in maybe tomorrow, and it's almost identical to the T's guitar. But with the T's guitar, you can get it fully set up with locking tuners for $265. So it's, you know, it's hard to say. They both have the same paint scheme, you know, with the metallic burst. But that one's probably gonna come in not set up. So this for sure is a nice one to keep around, definitely, as a Chinese import. The other one, well, we'll see, you know, because Now that I saw the demo on that, I'm curious to know how much better, because Torsen does a good job with the setups. Um, that's the thing that gets me. So if you get it with the setup, $50, even if you get it with the locking tuners, it's gonna be playable right out of the box with the strings you want. So the other one that I went for, I don't know if it's gonna measure up to the Cheese guitar, but they're almost identical and look, you know. But I think Torsen may be the winner in that category of that particular model. But the pickups, that's another thing. So I can't say for sure, but as of for now, this is where I'm at, guys. Thanks for joining today, this evening, and have a blessed week. And so, all right, the ball shredder finally actually picked a good one, or they sent him a good one, and I think he's definitely right. This thing has a lot going for it, for its price, still under $300, but man, it stands out. But I'm sure it has some weaknesses, and this thing is another thing. Well, I probably won't use these strings. I don't really know. I don't believe that they are really elixirs, because elixirs are expensive. So I don't know. It's hard to believe that they would really be elixirs, but I'll try to figure out how to set it up. Definitely too much neck relief. So once I straighten it out, I will probably tune it down to a half step, like all things, especially because I know these are tens. These are tens. They don't feel like nines. But thanks for joining, guys. And as always, take care. The thing that I also noticed quickly was, let me put this down, hold on, was the cord they included, it did look nice even when the ball shredder showed it. I mean, it looks nice, but it's probably just, something that looks nice doesn't necessarily mean it's good quality. So that's the good thing about, well, not the good thing about, what's deceiving about some Chinese products are they look nice, but they only last like a month or two. So this looks nice, but what is the real quality of that wiring? And this is, it's it's plasticky. So, but it's one of the nicer looking cables I've definitely seen. So it's got the whammy bar, and the whammy bar, it is a screw in, not a pop in. So you know that it doesn't really have a high end bridge plate, and they're throwing in some, I don't even know why they bother throwing in these strings. You're never going to use them, but you don't throw anything away just in case you have to send it back, But yeah, overall, first appearance and feeling of the neck, totally blowing away the Firefly on a level like night and day, This is definitely an enjoyable neck, just rubbing my hand down that neck, really nice. Dot markers are kind of cool. They stand out, and it'll darken up once you get the fret oil on there. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining the channel. Leave your comments. I think this is a good buy. Even if you want to drop in on some other pickups, I think the guitar itself, without anything else, is good bones. Definitely good bones for less than $300. So this company's trying to definitely come out of left field and really trying to make a dent on probably some of these other manufacturers like Leo James and Feasley and these other guys that are in the market, Firefly. They're probably definitely trying to make a mark. And Leo James put out some good product too. They put out some really decent guitars this year. So I think they really are. They continue to step up their game, and these guys, again, you know, they're right in that same ballpark with the Firefly, but I think they're offering you something different here, better styling, you know, and just a nicer design with this one. Headstock is nothing to brag about, but you know, it's got locky tuners, got nice frets. It's definitely different. Doesn't have that crazy roasted, but it's got a nice bright flamed maple neck, which is nice. I kind of like that. You know, with the Fireflies, they were so dark, you kind of got lost, and so did your side markers. They got lost too. They was just so dark. But these are interesting. Look at this freaking camera. I guess they're abalone, but in a certain light they turn silvery. They have a certain contrast on the outer. I don't know what that is, but it's kind of interesting that they do that. I've never seen markers like that. It seems like the abalone's on the inside of that little ring, so somebody manufactured that for them. But yeah, is that real rosewood? I don't fucking know, dude. These guys can say a lot of things, but I'm not a wood expert. I just know that with the Fred oil, it'll darken up a lot better. All right, it's been long enough. Thanks for hanging out, and of course, leave your comments. Hey, this is like I don't know. What the hell am I doing? Shit. Okay, guys. Later. Take care.